same thing was with it. I even used that then, you know. I plugged in with that because I used to charge with that.
Yeah.
I plugged it in and that.
Okay, good morning, guys. Happy New Year. First day of the trading year. I hope you guys had a great one. And back to work, back to reality. So the gamma report, we usually go over it now. If you read in the pre-market, we posted it, and our call wall has shifted higher to 4850, which usually is a good thing, right? This is the top range of the bullish range. Earlier, it was 4800 last week, right? It did not go through 4800, but now the it has extended to 4850. Usually it implies upside, but again, it's not something that you completely want to rely on, but it's a good indication. All right, and the critical support level that we have to a downside is 4750. If you read based on the thing, 4750 about here is our critical support, basically the top range of the previous breakout. All right, so 4750. I'll just write this down if you guys want to write them down. Is critical support. We must hold 4750. If we don't, then the below level that we have is 4745 and then 4700, and then obviously all the way towards 4600, which is possible. Now we do have FOMC next week. Keep that in mind. So let's see what happens. But futures are up nice. The market looks strong. A lot of gappers. There's one thing that I will go over that I was thinking, what could happen this year possibly with all these stocks that got beat down. All right. So this was it for that. So SPX so far looks good. We're up nice. We're up in the pre-market. If I just go over SPY quickly, since a lot of you guys like watching this. For SPY, we simply need above 478, 480 for continuation. All right. The level on SPY we simply need is a hold above 478. All right. And again, the market. One thing I will say is, the more you practice patience, now patience does not mean like not trading at all. Basically, overall the end point is taking the right trades, right? I mean, last week, 1 2 weeks, it was wise to sit on your hands, and you guys saw why. There was no movement in the market. We thought more volatility will maybe come in on Thursday, Friday. It still never came in, so we basically sat. All right, so there wasn't much to do, right? And if we can practice those, by doing that, we can avoid losers, because you're not going to make money to the upside or downside. If you get stuck in a chop like this, the market makers steal money off of you. All right, so now we need a hold above 478 on SPY, and let's see what happens. Q Tech, also same thing, in a toppy action, right, on a very in a resistance range, is trying to hold. If I just extend this, right, in this range right here, and we need out of this range stronger for move to the upside. All right, NQ, if we look at the NQ level, the level on NQ is it's right here, which is roughly 15,925, or you can say 16,000. We need above 16,000. All right, so if I go on NDX, we need above 16,000 here, continuous hold, and then above this mid range, which we have 16,700 ish. So here 16,700 basically on NQ. And to know more about Platinum Stacks usually goes over this, and you can also read our SPX futures update, which our analyst Platinum Stacks, he writes it in very details of what to expect, point to point key resistance, which is even more details than spot gamma sometimes. So please do check that out, right? IWM, I just want to go over it quickly. Now we saw that they broke out of RTY, which sometimes we call it IWM, and then we came down, and now we're stuck in this mid range. If you try to bet that the market is going to go up here or down, right? I have some messages. That's why I'm going over this. If you try to bet that's going to go up here or down, there is not really an indication, unless you have dig into some other numbers that support this entire index, unless you have done some deep research on other things, right, with the treasuries, whatever it may be, on small cap companies or whatever we're expecting, inflation, whatever it may be, and you've done that full essay and you have an idea, then it's okay to take a position. But otherwise, don't get stuck in this chop. There is no direction here. All right, IWM technically needs above 232 for long, so which is still a long way from here. All right, if you try to bet in the middle for leaps or whatever it may be, you're likely to get screwed. All right, here personally, if I was to play this, I would probably play this to both sides, one way or the other. Okay, so just don't get stuck on the long side just yet. We need a lot more, and we do need FOMC in Jan. We need to hear what they say, if they change their stance, or if they say something even more positive, or do they talk about raising more hikes, more tapering, because that will be negative for the market then. All right, and to go over the stock, Tesla absolutely ripped, absolutely ripped their deliveries. The estimate was 263,000. So this was a chart that we posted last night, right? Their deliveries estimate was 264,000, and they delivered 308,000. So almost 50,000 plus, all right, or 40,000 on plus on the deliveries, which is absolutely amazing. Up 7%. The stock is up $80. Now, many people in the market will be like, oh, the Tesla's up, they're going to have FOMO. Right at the open, they're going to try buying it. But I will tell you one thing, right? I will tell you one thing, that it's going to be opening up right here in the top range of the resistance, all right? Right here. If you were in Tesla, I think LB grabbed calls. If you were in Tesla on Friday or Thursday, whatever day that was, great. But here, it's going to have a hard time going through, and even if it does get through tomorrow, we can go red on Tesla. Now, I'm not saying this it's going to happen, but Tesla technically needs, if it does get through this, 1150 has to hold no matter what, and there will be a lot of sellers at 1150 plus. 1150 plus hold is must, all right? And 1150, and the next level that we have is 1200 on Tesla, and then 1200. If it gets through 1200, then obviously sky can be the limit. It can go to 1300, even 1500, because that's just how Tesla runs. All right, but 1150 in this zone is going to be hard. However, if we get through 1150 and we hold and we get to this $1,200 level in the top range, then it's very bullish. Okay, then it's really bullish. Then through 1200, we see what it does, right? And then you can catch this entire run to the upside. And here on this big gap up, premiums will be high. They will be really high, and if you're in with LB, please take some profits. You guys will be up huge at the open on Tesla, right? This was called in my Stock Life Premium Discord. And but 1200 and then 1300, 1500 can also happen. But just know this 1150 is going to be very, very hard, all right? And if we get through it right in the morning and we hold in the intraday, who knows, I might even play calls on Tesla as well, then maybe 1200s or 1250s for the week. But not in the first 15 minutes. First 15 minutes, let the market settle, let the premiums die down a little bit. All right, one trade that I will give you on Tesla is right here. I'll draw this trade up for you. It's going to open around 1130ish. If Tesla gets the top range of this channel right here, two plays, I'll draw the scenario here. Okay, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I'll just give you guys two scenarios if you're watching Tesla. So pretend like this is a 5-minute chart. If Tesla comes and tests the range of opening range of this, which is roughly 1110. If Tesla comes and tests 1110, and then it takes out 1130 again, then we might have a nice little ripper all day towards 1200. That's number one, okay? And then maybe 1150. Number two is a gap fill all the way right here, which is 1050. I'm not saying it's gonna, because if it gets 1050, I would probably just avoid. If it gets near 1100, so 1110 is first, next will be 1100 psychological. If it gets 1100 and it holds there, this might bounce to 1120. Before going further down, in case if they do sell it. This is just a downside scenario I'm giving. 1110 and through 1130, so it will be something like this. A pattern will look something like this on a 5-minute. So let's say from 1130 it opens, it goes to 1110, it comes back above 1130 and then goes, then it's likely going to be an all-day runner. All right, but for this you have to wait until like 9:45, 10 a.m. if this scenario plays out. And usually if this scenario plays out, you can same day options, you can cash 300, 400% on them. All right, and if it comes down and it only bounces a little bit towards 1120 and then comes down again towards 1100, then be careful. Then only play a little bit for a bounce, or else it might just be a sell the news event. All right, so these are both scenarios that might happen. So 1110, and if it gets to 1130, then we might even get 1200 and it can continue to the upside. All right, and if this scenario plays out, I might even take calls on Tesla. All right, and so that was Tesla. And then PayPal, one thing that I want to show you guys, I'm going to go on the weekly chart here. A lot of people are going to want to play these names. That, you know what, these names are going to rip. People are only going to see this right now. They will only see this happening. Like, they already imagined that that's what's going to happen with PayPal. And I hope it does. It's good for the market. One thing I do want to show you guys, a pattern that can happen on the daily time frame or the weekly can also happen on a monthly time frames. All right, so what do I mean by this? So if I open up a chart like let's say for example Tilray, right? Now I'm not comparing PayPal to Tilray, please don't get me wrong here. Okay, so Tilray right here. All right, when a pattern usually has a big spike, it runs a lot, and then they end up making this certain pattern. All right, they dip the stock, all right, because PayPal dipped a lot, it shouldn't have dipped that much. Then they'll give the bounce, and then they might dip and then make this pattern like this right here. Stock dips and then slowly like this it goes. This was a very typical pattern in 2021. So with PayPal and Square and SC, all these stocks, many people will be going long, I think, at these levels. I just want you guys to know one thing. I'm just gonna draw a pattern here, which is possible on the weekly basis throughout the entire year 2022. They might bounce this here, and then they might bring it back here. They might bounce it, they might bring it back. They can easily make this pattern, which was a very typical pattern lately. And then, in 2022 at the end, somebody will be there analyzing this pattern. Oh, PayPal's, approaching this level right here. It's probably gonna bounce or something. So just know this pattern, keep this in mind. Don't expect all these, I hope these stocks rip, I hope they go to all-time highs if you're holding them, but this stock has ran a lot in the past few years, and sometimes it takes a long time before they consolidate, all right? So just don't get stuck in this tight range where they're just gonna kill premium left and right, all right? Because they gave the PayPal a run from 79 to 300 bucks from the year 2020 to 2021. Don't expect these same runs in 2022. If they happen, great, we'll catch them, but do know that these stocks can just stay in a very tight range sideways all year, all right? Same with SC, right? Same with SC. I don't know why my internet is so slow. Is yours slow also? Okay, this stock had its run from 35 to 372. That's 1,000% return on an equity stock, all right? The stock ran from 37 to 370. That's 1,000% in less than 2 years on equity. So I'll write this down. It ran from 37 to 370. 1,000% in less than 2 years. So all I'm saying is just know these stats, know these things. Don't expect a straight V-shaped bounce. Maybe it happens, you will catch it if it happens. But all I'm saying is just manage your position size, right? I'm only gonna give you the right thing. I'm a very conservative guy. I like saving money in the account, right? And if it bounces here, do expect sometimes they might do this all year. They might build that pattern right here of the pattern that we've seen all year around, all right? It's possible they might do this with this name, and then 2023, 2024, we break out, all right? Just know these things. And chips are strong. AMD, again, I think this was another top pick for Goldman Sachs, right? And these are strong names, something that keeps running. I mean, you play it until they breathe out. So AMD, again, if it gets above 150, a lot of selling pressure here, by the way. This is not a good candle, right? But 150 is a must hold. 150 plus is a must hold, right? So keep an eye on AMD. Another stock which I think can continue running towards 170, 180 this year if the chips stay strong. LRCX, obviously, the reason I love this name, I wish I had bought equity in it, but this is a name that can give a lot. All right, they manufacture semiconductor chips for the other companies, and if it continues holding above 720, this did not happen, right? So this note we wrote on Friday, something learned from here. These options were going for $4, $5 all day for Thursday and Wednesday. On Thursday, we were unable to get we had the 720 hold, but I was not getting these options for $1, and there was no way I was going to buy them. On Friday, they came below $1, but then LRCX was under 120, so we avoid the trade. That's why I play levels, it avoids losers, and these went to zero after. That's a good thing that we didn't buy them, right? I stick to my plan. But here, LRCX, again, this is another stock. If it continues holding above 722, 723, this stock can run, because this stock consolidated all of 2021. And now is breaking out, and if the breakout is real, this can run towards 800, 900 fast. All right, and this stock, you don't have to play options either. If you believe in it, you can even buy equity. All right, if it goes to 900, that's a 30% increase. Okay. And please do type in tickers, anything that you guys want. Always like go Tesla rep this 1142 word of thing. And we will have a session soon on a detailed session that we're working on, so we'll announce that this week. Another Roblox, Nancy Pelosi, she bought a position in it, and please don't blindly follow her positions without even doing your own DD. I know she's nailed it. Remember what happened with Kathy? She nailed early 2021, she ripped 2022, and then people started following Kathy like a blind horse, and and what happened? Everyone got destroyed in the options world, and then all we saw in December was her selling many things at a lower price. Her plan is long term. How about you? Right? So Nancy, if you're following her, just be careful. I do like this name. I think this name has a big to do with Meta as well. I don't follow this company too closely, but I will start to, because this is one name that can move big in 2022. RBLX. All right, this could be like a SCT dog or Zoom that can absolutely go nuts, which is a possibility. And right now, as long as it can get about 110, 115, I might be a buyer of some 150 calls a few months out. And if it rips, this name can probably hit 200 fast. All right. Usually I don't play new IPOs, but the way it's been acting and holding up, it has some room. SoFi, somebody asked on Instagram about go over. I like this play. A lot of bullish flow came in SoFi the last few months. A lot of bullish flow came in. People were buying a lot of calls in this name. They did not move it. It's just stuck in a sideways consolidation. It's at a very strong support level here. I think this is another great equity play if you were to just load some equity on this name. And as long as it stays above this $15 level, the ratio for equity can be 20-25. However, you have to be very disciplined. If it gives up 15, you stop out and you're out of the trade. That's it. You take the $1 loss and then you move on, because you don't want this coming down to $10 and then $6 and $4. All right, this can be a fate for many of these companies in 2022 if it fails at this support level. All right, PLTR, we did a strangle, right? The reason being was because it was holding on to one range for the last 4 weeks, and it's time for it to make a $2 move to the downside or upside. We don't care which way it goes, and then we see what happens. All right, if it takes a 1950 to the upside, we might get 21, 22. We'll exit our strangle. If it gets 17 around the lower range, and if it breaks 17, there will be a faster down push to about 1550, I think, and we'll still double our strangles on it. All right. Amazon is one stock. Sometimes I know we play one stock, we get tired of it. Don't ignore this stock. This is an opportunity, for us if it consolidates all year. Just wait for this number simply if you want to play. You can set your alerts whenever it happens. 3760, 3770, and then 3775. We push the buttons. We pull the trigger. Let's say right to the upside. So this is one name that you do want to keep an eye, because if you catch this 400 or 500 run, if you catch this move on Amazon, something like this, when it breaks out, those are 1000% plays. Their account making plays. They happen, but sometimes you just gotta wait for the right time. All right, and here it's just holding on to the 250 MA on the weekly. We basically need, for now, on short-term basis, we need 3450 plus. 3450. We basically need 3450, and if we can get 3450, we can see a move higher on Amazon. And with this, guys, I'll end it. And Lucid, ATVI, I have some requests. LCI, Lucid, I think with the delivery number Tesla, that might be a positive sentiment for this name. On the weekly, I just see a cup and a handle pattern forming, basically. It broke out of here. Lucid, if it can hold 40 and 4250 is the number, 4250 plus, if it holds, you can go long on Lucid. But 4250 is a must. ATVI, again, I think T nailed this play from the lows, from 57, 58. He rode this entire leg towards 63, 64. And but right now it's getting rejected off the 200 MA on the weekly, right? It gave that little bounce. Right now I would not play it here. The move already happened. It's a slow mover. It might consolidate here for some time now, for some weeks, and then we see if it can take a 68, 69, and we can see go to the upside on ATVI. All right, and yep. Pins, same thing as Twitter and Facebook, guys. Pins on the weekly, it's just sideways. That's another strangle play, but again, this name needs to break up, right? I mean, why would they sell this off from 90 to 36? It's down 60-70% on equity, right? The news came out, buyout news came out, all these things, and then that rumor came out. It was more, to me, it was more of the rumors come out, whoever wanted to offload share, they sold it, and now they brought it to 36, right? So pins, I will simply wait until it can base here longer and maybe go above 40, right? Here, picking a direction will be very hard, because here it's either trying to hold support, or here the buyers are trying to push it up. Like, there's a war going on here. Don't get stuck in the middle of the field. Let somebody win. Right? Let the bulls win to the upside, or the bears win to the downside. All right. For me, it's both options possible on pins. Twitter, I like Twitter better. The reason being, I think it's on the monthly. It's just forming this cup and handle pattern. If you guys saw this, we posted this, and on the weekly, on the monthly also. And if we can get above a 45-ish, 50, and hold above, then we can probably see more upside on Twitter. All right. And then Pfizer obviously ended a strong last week to end the finish the year. A little reversal. Let's see what happens. If it can go above 60, this is another name that can see 65 and so on. If 60 fails, then obviously we see much more to the downside. But again, it's the first day of the year. Starts strong. If you have a FOMO trade as your first trade of the year, then you're on the wrong track already. Learn patience. Maybe don't. I don't know whatever it may be, but only take a confirmed picky trade. That's all I can say. And we'll see you guys back in the chat.